People may tell you how good the iPhone 4S was, from it being the first iOS device to have Siri, and from it fixing the antenna gate issues that the iPhone 4 had, while retaining its small and boxy design. But what these people do not tell you is how you can make the most out of the iPhone 4S in 2026 and make it somewhat usable. So let's get into that. Majority of you have one of these running iOS 9, and if you do not, I recommend saving SHSH blobs before we downgrade to iOS 6. And if you have an 8GB model, you will most likely not be able to downgrade to 6 at all. But anyway, let's get into this. First of all, you will want to jailbreak your device, and the one for iOS 9 I recommend is Carbon. And if you're already on like a different iOS version that's not iOS 9, there are other jailbreaks that you can use. You can probably find out which one you should use with iOS CFW guide, so I'll have that in the description, of course. But the one I recommend for iOS 9 is Carbon, and this is a jailbreak that you can do from the browser. So go and put in carbon.scp.lol/, and here all you got to do is hit run. And this is a very unreliable exploit, so if you have any issues, just re-jailbreak and just hit that run button until it successfully works, and we'll see if this works. This is my very first run, and usually I don't have any luck, but we'll see what happens here. And okay, looks like it's now rebooting the device. Okay, we've booted, and we do have Cydia. And if you reboot without Cydia, before trying anything else like rebooting and trying to re-jailbreak, I recommend you go into Safari and put in Cydia : / and you would see something like this. And if it says that, you're good. And now you'll actually have Cydia opening up and everything. On first run, you'll probably see something like return to Cydia. Just ignore that. You'll also see something like 2 essential upgrades. Do complete upgrade always. Hit confirm. And if it just crashes after it does that and it says restart Springboard, that won't matter because we are going to do something else in a second anyway that will make the device reboot. So go to sources, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to install a couple tweaks before we do a downgrade. So you will already have Luke ZGD's repo pre-installed, so just go in there, hit all packages. And also, if you're having that one issue where Cydia is not on the home screen, I'll show you how to fix that quickly. Also, just get jailbreak app icons fixed, and you would just hit install, confirm, it'll probably have you respring. But anyway, the first one you're going to want to queue up is the IOcast untether. Just queue that up, and then the second thing that you're going to want to get is OpenSSH, and we will use OpenSSH for KDFU. So now you can see all that's queued up at once, and now it's going to install. And the untether will just untether this, and if something goes wrong during the downgrade and you need to reboot back into the operating system, this is good, because you don't have to worry about having to re-jailbreak. And now you'll see something like reboot your device. So just hit that button right there, and it will now reboot your device, and in a second you'll be ready to downgrade. Okay, and just like that, we've untethered iOS 9. And once that's all confirmed up and working, you can go in here and go into installed and check if IOcast, untether, and OpenSSH are there. And if that's there, you're ready for the downgrade. Now, you will need Mac and or a Linux computer to do this. If you're on Windows, you'll have to live boot Linux Mint on your device. And I will leave a tutorial on that in the description. And once you've live booted Linux, come back to this video. But anyway, I already have a Mac, and you're going to want a x86 64 device or ARM64, and for Mac you're going to want macOS 10.11 or newer, and macOS 12.6 of course for Apple Silicon Macs. And here are all the Linux distros that you'll want for Legacy iOS Kit. And anyway, I will leave Legacy iOS Kit linked in the description, but basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to head to the resources tab. You're going to find this zip folder, so you're going to download that, extract it, and once that's downloaded and extracted, you will have a folder that kind of looks like this. I have a bunch of other random garbage in here because I've been using Legacy iOS Kit for a bit now, but the key thing that you're going to want here is that restore.sh file. So you're going to want to open a terminal window, and you're going to go drag in restore.sh. And before you do this, make sure your 4S is connected up to your computer at this point. Now just hit enter. Once that's dragged in there, you're probably going to get prompted to update. So if that happens, just hit yes. And also, if you get anything that says like trust on here, make sure to hit trust. But anyway, update now. Once you've updated, you're going to drag the restore.sh file back into terminal, and get used to that. You're going to be doing a lot of that during this process. And okay, if you see something like your device's IMEI starts with 9900, these devices are affected by an activation issue, what I recommend you do is you're going to go into MISC Utilities. You're going to find activation records, and you're going to use the jailbroken option. Put in your root password for your device. In my case, it's ALPINE. Once you've done that and you have your activation records saved, you don't have to worry about anything else. So go to restore downgrade. You're going to want iOS 6.1.3. I would recommend doing a download of the target, and you'll probably also get something to download your base IPSW. I didn't get that because I think I already have that downloaded. So you're going to download both your target and your base IPSW. Now the target IPSW is basically the iOS version that you're downgrading to, which in my case is iOS 6.1.3. But again, if you have an 8GB model, go to 8.4.1. And now that you have all your IPSWs all set up and everything, what you're going to want to do is you're going to hit start restore. I would enable the jailbreak option because if you're not jailbroken, you can't really do much with iOS 6 and or iOS 8. So just hit yes. Remember your option for creating IPSW. Whether you hit yes or no really doesn't matter, but if you have a device with less than 8GB of RAM, I would hit no. And in my case, I'm going to hit no because I have a 4GB MacBook Air from like 2011, so I'm gonna hit no. And now you're going to always use jailbroken because we've just jailbroken with OpenSSH, so we can just use KDFU. So hit jailbroken, and again, put in your root password. It'll look like you're not typing it in, but type it in anyway. ALPINE, all lowercase. Hit enter. Now there is a good chance it'll tell you to replug and unplug your device. Mine did. So if that happens, do that. But anyway, it is now restoring to iOS 6, and I will come back to you when this is fully restored, and I'll also leave this on time lapse. Okay, and just like that, we should be booted into iOS 6. And yeah, there you go. You can now set up iOS 6. Now I'm going to have to bypass activation because this is IMEI 9900 and I don't have activation records for this. So yeah, you can set it up as normal, but anyway, and I'll skip to when I'm on the home screen. Now let's get into tweaks and fixes for iOS 8 and iOS 6. Majority of these fixes will only be needed on iOS 6, but I will tell you whether they are needed on iOS 8 also. Now, before you even open up Cydia, what I recommend you go and do is head into Safari and put in this URL right here, tlsroot.lytton.ca/ and just hit go. Grab the signed iOS bundle, hit install now, and then hit done. Now, you can now go and open up Cydia for the first time. You'll see something like preparing file system, so let it do its thing and reboot. Okay, my device is now rebooted, and now we can go ahead and open up Cydia, and everything should be up and running. You'll see all your sources and everything, and you are good to go. Now, before we install anything substantial, first of all, go do a complete upgrade, and then go to the search part of Cydia and go and install Substrate Safe Mode. So of course, just hit modify install, and this tweak essentially builds a safety net into iOS where if you install a bad tweak, you can simply boot into a mode where none of them are enabled and just get rid of it. To boot in a substrate safe mode, if you need to do that, when booting, just hold the volume up button the whole time and you'll get into substrate safe mode. And alright, we are now good to go. The next thing I will be showing you is how to fix the App Store. I want to mention that this is not the best method of installing apps, as sideloading is much more convenient, but this is cool for show. Now for iOS 8, the only fix you needed was the certificates, and to sign in normally, put your verification code at the end of your passcode and you should get it. On iOS 6 though, it is not as simple, so let's get into that now. You're going to want to go ahead into Cydia, of course, and before we proceed, I assume you aren't signed into iCloud, but make sure you're signed out of iCloud before we try anything else. So go and add some sources. The first one you're going to want to add is Invoxy Play Games' repo. Cydia.invoxyplaygames.uk/ and then just hit add source. And then you're going to edit and add again, and you're going to put in AOI blog.jp/ and then just add source. And then you're going to want to hit edit and add, and you're going to add this repo, cydia.bagxml.com/ hit add source. And then you're going to want to add one final repo, that being cydia.nekokawa.net/ and then just hit add source. And now the first thing you're going to want to do is head into the AOI blog repo, hit all packages, and grab App Store Fix iOS 6, hit install. It's going to queue up a bunch of other stuff, so just continue queue that. And then you're going to want to go into bagxml's repo, go to all packages, get store layouts fixed, and then finally just hit install and then hit confirm. And it's going to ask to open the setup screen, so hit yes, because this is how you're going to sign into your Apple ID. Restart your Springboard. Now slide to setup here, hit next. Going to bring up your Wi-Fi thing, set up his new iPhone. And here you're going to sign into your Apple ID. And just like with the iOS 8 step I mentioned a second ago, you're going to put everything normally. You're going to get a verification code on your phone, and you're going to put that verification code on the end of your passcode. So let me go do that. And then you can do stuff like this. It's going to set up your Apple ID, use iCloud, and choose back up to iCloud or your computer, it doesn't matter. And it's now going to do a final reboot back into the setup screen. Don't worry, this is not an activation loop. Just go through normally, and you're going to see something like this. Just skip this step, you're already signed in. This is a bug, and it's been going on for a bit now. So it's now going to update your iCloud settings one final time. Hit agree, don't send, start using your iPhone, and now if you go into iCloud, you should see you're signed in. Now, if you do plan on using this method to install applications, just go to the Purchase tab and download stuff from there. I'd recommend downloading apps on another device and then going in there using the Purchase tab, and you'll probably get something like download latest compatible option for the app, and yeah, that's how that works. Now, the next thing we're going to be going over is sideloading, aka the superior method of installing applications. Of course, head into Cydia, go to your sources, hit edit and add, and you're going to add this repo right here, yzoo.mo/dev/ and hit add source. Okay, return to Cydia, go to Electamon's repo, which we just added, go in here, grab Viteris, hit install. You'll see it queues up another tweak called AppSync Unified, which is good because we're going to be using iPhone OS Obscure later. So hit confirm, and it's now going to install this. You'll see something like this, which is actually important. If AppSync is not working after installation, please reboot your device or perform a user space reboot or whatever. And yeah, the only reason we do this is because there is a good chance AppSync doesn't initialize properly on first boot. So if you have any issues installing apps with Viteris in a second, just reboot your device. And now anyway, head into Viteris here, and to get an app, all you have to do is just search up whatever you desire. The one I recommend you search up for a future fix that we're going to do in a minute is YouTube. Grab version 1.3.0, and to check if it's installing, go to More, Queue, and you'll see if the app is actually installing. And looks like I didn't have any issues installing YouTube. And now before we do that, I will show you another method of installing applications, which overall is better in my opinion, but at the same time is less reliable. The one I recommend is iPhone OS Obscura.Linton.ca/. Now, this is basically Viteris, but is in website form. It has a lot more versions of apps and just more apps overall. To install an app, of course, just search up whatever you want. I see Minecraft right here. I know I'm automatically going to install this. So I'm going to go select a version of Minecraft that I want here, and I'm either going to use the proxied or direct install, and it depends on which one works the best for you at the moment. It is very unreliable. One of these options may go down. I'm going to try direct install first because usually that works the best for me. I'm going to hit install. Hit retry. There's a good chance this happens. Oh, okay. Looks like it's installing. And by the way, when you select apps, make sure to select the ones that are not encrypted. The encrypted ones will not work at all. But yeah, anyway, that is how you get apps. Now, the next thing we're going to be going over is fixing the YouTube app we just downloaded. So head into Cydia, of course, go to your sources tab, hit edit and add, and put in this, cydia.preloading.dev/ and hit add source. In here, you will find a tweak called Tube Replacer. So hit modify, install, confirm, and now you're going to respring your device after you see that pop up right here, of course. And after rebooting, you can now go give YouTube a try. You can now see YouTube is working. And now the coolest thing about this tweak is that you can actually sign in. So you just hit sign in here. It's now going to pull up the classic Google thing where you sign in. So I'm gonna go sign in to my YouTube account and I'll come back to you. And yeah, just like that, I'm signed in to YouTube on iOS 6. So I'm just gonna go prove to you that this works. I'm probably gonna throw some music over this because it's copyrighted, but I just want to show you it works. And there you go, you can see that works. And I can even go through the whole description. I can go to suggested of other stuff to look at here. I can go to the comments and I can see all the comments under this video. And yeah, that's how you fix YouTube on iOS 6. The next thing we're going to be doing is fixing both the weather and stocks app. So go into Cydia, add a source, and this is going to be cydia.skyglow.es/ and just hit add source. And once you've added the Skyglow Cydia repo, go into all packages and you're going to go find WeatherX. So hit modify, install, hit confirm, by the way, and you're also going to see StocksX and WeatherX are both queued up. Now StocksX fixes the Stocks app and WeatherX fixes the Weather app. So just hit confirm here. Looks like I'm having issues installing this. This is kind of weird. Good chance the repo is down right now. But basically what this does is it fixes the Weather and Stocks app. If it says something like this, I think the repo may be down. I'm not completely sure. Let's try just doing it from StockSex. And yeah, it looks like the repo is down. I don't know if it'll be up when I put out this video, but if you're having issues, just skip over this and try again another time. And also, that weather and stocks app fix is only needed for iOS 6 as it natively works in iOS 8. The next thing we're going to be going over is night mode for iOS 6 and iOS 8. So go into the search tab in Cydia and go search up f.lux. So hit modify, install, confirm, and it's now going to install. And this one you have to respring for, you just hit return to Cydia. Now, this is basically night mode for iOS 5 through iOS 8. And to get it all up and running, just open up the app. Make sure you have location services enabled, by the way, so it can determine when to turn off and on night mode. And just hop into the app and hit close on when it says it needs to determine your location or whatever. To change the warmth of how your night mode looks, just go into settings, find f.lux, and you can change it right here. So I can make it fluorescent. That's how that works. Now, the next stuff is completely optional, but it just kind of enhances the iOS 6 experience a lot and makes it a lot more fun to use. The first thing I recommend you do is get some stuff on iTunes and sync that music up with your device. And now you can use your device as an iPod, basically. And you can do the same stuff for things like wallpapers and other things. Some other tweaks you can try are Zeppelin and Cylinder. These just modify the springboard and make stuff a lot more fun. And you can install both of these at once very easily. Just search up Zeppelin right here. I'm gonna hit modify, install, continue queue that, find Cylinder, and I can install, confirm, and it's now going to install both of these at once. Now, Zeppelin just changes the carrier text to be a logo, and Cylinder basically just gives you cool home screen animations. So once this reboots, you'll see what I mean. So you can see I now have a carrier logo up here, and I have home screen animations. To edit these, go into settings. Starting off with Cylinder, you would just go in here, and you could select whatever effect you want. Just don't select two at once, it looks bad. And for Zeppelin, you would just go into Zeppelin, hit theme, and select whatever one you want. You can also get more carrier logo packs for Zeppelin by just searching Zeppelin carrier logo in Cydia. And yeah, that's how you do it. But yeah, that's the video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like, subscribe with notifications on, using the hype feature, and sharing this with someone that find this interesting and or helpful. Check out my social media accounts, which I have in the description and in the end card. I have a TikTok, a Twitter, a Reddit, and a second YouTube channel. But yeah, anyway, this has been Derek from Certified Legacy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
What we do here is go back.